So fun!
Get on video?
Not so much.
They're going to be on YouTube?
I dropped it.
Let's see what I can do.
When Summer says she wants to be in my video, I put her in my video. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. The group I was with passed the group that she was with. Then she and a couple others jumped from their group and connected with us. Summer has recently retained a coach, I think for the purpose of getting back into racing. Back when I was a young cycling Greek, when she was on top of her form, I had to be on top of my form just to keep up with her. The first part of this ride is the same as the first part of the ride I did 2 weeks ago that I had a video on. We did this 59-minute segment about 76 seconds slower than we did 2 weeks ago. It almost felt just as fast, probably because my buddy Diego was in the front for the first 25 minutes doing his impression of Masters National Champion Mark Tucker for the first 25 minutes. This is going to be sort of a hodgepodge of subject matter, so I'll start off by giving an update on my AFib situation. I'm happy to report that I haven't had an AFib attack since around June of last year. The longest I've been without an AFib attack has been 1 day short of 2 years, so who knows, maybe I can pass 2 years this time. And that's in spite of the fact that about 5 weeks ago I did this 155-mile, 16,000 feet of climbing event and I didn't have any problems at all. So far, as long as I get good sleep, I don't get overly fatigued, and I don't irritate my vagus nerve, I am good to go. Next random subject. Exercise and what you eat. How do they compare? Which one's more important? In my opinion, exercise is more important. Given enough consistent exercise, you can compensate at least partially for certain bad habits. Sufficient consistent exercise can cause changes in the body that diet alone cannot. In a recent video, I spoke about how high-intensity exercise can support the integrity of the blood-brain barrier through the repair and the creation of capillaries that cross it. Not only that, but it enhances the neural net of the brain as well as the brain's antioxidant capabilities. Third random subject, falling. I've spoken before about falling being the fifth leading cause of death in the elderly. It's not necessarily that they die on the spot, but they may break a hip, they're laid up, and within a year or two, particularly if they haven't been consistently exercising, they have a very high mortality rate. There are two parts to falling. The first is losing your balance. To have balance, you have to have muscles. You have to consistently train these muscles in stability. Riding a bike won't do it. In fact, it'll make your stability worse since it's a linear type of movement. The second part comes in after you lose your balance and you start to fall. You catch and correct yourself before you hit the ground. To be able to do that, you have to have fast twitch muscles. But that's not enough. You now have to train them with exercises such as box jumps, and springs. And this leads into my fourth and final random subject. Getting injured. If I had to recover for a month as a young cycling Greek from an injury, the effect on me would be far, far less than if I had to recover for a month as a 69-year-old cycling Greek that I am now. Recall what I said earlier about the mortality rate of breaking your hip as an elderly person? I have this husband and wife friend, and they're older than I am, and they ride a tandem a lot along with their single bicycles, and they do some other exercising, I'm sure. They recently got into a bike crash, and they each broke their hips. Because of their lifestyle, they were both back on the bike quicker than I thought they would have been. Other than cases such as this where you crash on the bike, injuries during exercise usually happen when you're doing something that you're just not used to doing or that you haven't worked up to doing yet. So for example, if I all of a sudden tried to curl 135 pounds, I'd probably create some problems for myself. Okay, that was it for my random topics. I'm confident that while my old Greek subscribers may not have listened to the content, they probably enjoyed the video. Okay, so what happened after the rest stop? Just like a couple weeks ago, my legs were so reamed by being able to stay with them to the first rest stop that after the first rest stop, I slowly came off their wheels. I actually ended up with another person and another couple people, and we rode in. This ride was 76 miles with about 4,500 feet of climbing. We started at 6 a.m. because the high for that day was going to be 107. Today, while I'm making this video, 109. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe, and keep exercising. The Cycling Greek.